What's going on? Boys, today we are talking about a couple things. We'll start with some more thoughts on that confrontation I had a couple days ago, which is beginning to make me angry, the more I think about it. And then we'll talk some life thoughts using a Bugman meme prompt. So, in thinking more about that confrontation, what I was thinking about for a couple days was why did that upset me? Well, a number of things about it upset me, but a few of them upset me about myself as a person. What bothers me most about that confrontation is in the first 3 minutes, I felt like a child. You've done wrong, but you're attacking me at 100. And this is another one of those Saint O'Neill things about men being or walking around dealing with the possibility of violence. Your tone and insults are fighting words. And you are an able bodied man, but the way you're talking makes me think you think I'm not more able. I'm not a fighter. I'm not a violent person, unless it's with those Hylics who dare to tread alone deep into the woods on dark and stormy nights. But you're talking us into a place you are evidently not ready for based on your distance to me and the way your feet are positioned. That, or you think it can't go there. And I don't want it to go there for any reason, no matter the outcome, because that's not good for anybody, but you're trying me. And this is all before my higher order brain kicked in, and it's only part of the way I felt. The other part, the part I'm upset with myself about, is the child part. Once again, I'm not a fighter, I'm not an especially strong guy, but I know for a fact I'm stronger and faster and more situationally aware than this dude, yet, when an able bodied man gets in my face at 100, it's like I forgot that I am also a man. For that instant, I felt like a child. One part of me says, I can't fight, I want to roll up into a ball and cry. The other part of me says, I could probably shake this dude until his neck breaks, and neither are the way to go. I mentioned last time I felt like I was frozen, and I am deeply upset with myself over that reaction. We've been practicing conflict. We can keep our heads and act sharp in the face of most forms of aggression. And we brought it back by the end, but in the beginning there, why did you clam up? Why did you do that? Why did you let yourself do that? Fuck anything that could happen. If someone acts like that, well, this is the thing, right? I have a record. I have to be careful. Maybe you don't put your hands on him. Maybe you don't slap him and take it to that level. But you can aggress verbally in kind in a situation like that without freezing. And again, by the end, I did manage to bring it back, but I am almost certain that is going to happen again. Because I was thinking also about why that strategy was deployed. The instant 100. Well, I think it's because manipulative people, and when I say manipulative, I don't mean it in the pop psych sense. I mean it in the cheating on your spouse and bragging about it to people sense. have a sense of where and how to push. We said it last time, but if something's wrong with you, if you have some vulnerability, most people can smell it. And predatory people can probably smell it a bit better. Again, I think that's why that strategy was deployed, because that was the one that froze me up. And I'm irritated with myself because I wasn't prepared for that. I had a few mental models of the way that confrontation could have gone. That was not in any of them because of my position. And stupid, dimwit Skimmerlit likes letting himself get comfortable. So my instincts tell me that's going to happen again. It didn't serve as a finisher, but it got a reaction. And when people see they get a reaction out of you, they're not going to stop. They're not going to change their strategy. They're going to try that again and do it right this time. Or maybe they're going to pull something out I can't even imagine. But my instincts tell me we're going to see more forward aggression. And the other thing that frustrated me was how slow I was on my feet verbally when confronted with 15 different points of attack all at once and mixed together. The confrontation began framed as a professional issue, but that professional framing was used to keep on making personal attacks. And I wasn't ready to go personal yet. Because if you whip out the I have an audio recording of you bragging about cheating on your spouse, that escalates, in my brain, that escalates into mortal violence very quickly. And people are fucking stupid. They don't care about their lives. They will end their lives to end yours. So it was like I was scrambled and didn't know how to put everything together properly. And people don't care about properly. They don't care about truth. They don't care about right. But if you fuck up and do things improperly, it's going to be a problem. So I'm frustrated with myself that I let myself get dragged into the personal, getting off the boat, without going all the way, and without staying in the boat and recognizing this interference scrambling that's going on and keeping it strictly professional. Once again, I figured that out halfway through, and the second half of the confrontation was not bad. I am pleased with myself about that, but I am deeply frustrated with myself that I let that shit work on me at the beginning. I think canning him is the way to go, but that's not, if that is the route we take, that's not going to happen before he gets more shots at me. And he wants me gone too. He doesn't want this organization, or at least with me in it, to succeed. He's already stated as much. Well, he stated as much during the confrontation, and my dumbass didn't bring a recorder because I wasn't expecting something like this to happen. But in actions, that's what's been going on. I'm not good at measuring my aggressive actions when someone is throwing everything they have at me. But I don't want this freak to get so ass hurt he does something really stupid that might result in changes to both of our addresses. I really despise people, and I hate the parts of myself that refuse to get with the program. I know I'm the greatest because I have witnessed myself be the greatest before, but there are so many little issues in me, little dissident parts that refuse to be the best all the time. We have it in us to do that. We have it in us to be the greatest at all times, and you won't let it happen. Why won't you let it happen? What do we need to do? But let's relax and think about life using a Hylic Bugman prompt. Maybe we can communicate with some of those difficult parts using this prompt. So there was a voice-acted Soy Jack meme I saw the other day. And this one was different from the others. It was not like the other boys. Because this one was presented in not a super easily attackable way or demeaning way. Like, you look at one of these Soy Jack memes about someone who cries when they go out into the woods because they're away from their petri dish, disgusting crime city, and they can actually see the stars and they're part of nature, and it terrifies them and makes them sad and they want to go back to their little prisons. And you can laugh at that. That is very easy to attack. Much harder to attack when one of these Soy Jack memes is presented in a way that has nothing apparently wrong. This appears to be just a dude living an ideal city life. And you know some tricky shit is up with this one, because you can feel everything wrong with it, but the instant the crowd shows up to defend this archetype, you struggle to explain why there's something wrong with it. And that's exactly what happened in the comments section. The people who dislike this Bugman Hylic archetype got utterly blown the fuck out, including by a couple popular content creators in that sphere. Because this meme came from what looks to be another rising star meme voice actor channel, because we just don't have enough of them. Yet, in Saint O'Neill's words, something inside me said, I'm willing to take this pressure. There isn't one good argument as to why this guy, this archetype, this Soy Jack, is living anything but the best of lives, but you still feel it. You still feel something is wrong here. Despite the fact the Hylics are crowding up and beating people the fuck out. Not that the people attacking this archetype are people. They are very much Hylics. But if you feel something, it's your responsibility to figure out what your soul is telling you. All the better if it's uncomfortable and the answers don't come to you immediately. Now, I was going to do this from memory, but while I was pissing, I decided I would look it up. I've put it on screen. I was going to link the video in the description, but the fucker watermarked the green text, so we're going to credit that way and make it more inconvenient. And one of the reasons I like doing things from memory, aside from keeping sharp, is I can hit points as they're relevant to me, instead of having something in front of me, because when something is front of me, I feel obligated to go point by point, and that isn't always the best for my points, but we'll try to hit all of these, maybe linearly, maybe not. We'll see. Point 1. Cities are great. And by the way, thinking about it, the reason this fucking green text is more egregious than I remember it being, but the reason a position like this is easier to defend is because you're defending concepts. It's easy to say cities are great. Cities are not great. The word city is easier to defend than any American example of a city. Almost all American cities are identical, and the few that aren't are different only in form. They suffer all from the same problems. No culture on the planet is good, but United Statesian culture is the great Satan. And you put millions of fucking Americans together, and you get what cities are: condensers of hatred, ineptitude, and shit. Right? I live in a relatively small city that tends to price people out, and it's still a shithole. The city I live in right now is as bad or worse than all the cities I attended university in, because it's not a money issue, it's a culture issue. America is rotten top to bottom. If you get a bunch of Americans together in any place, you're going to end up with a worse situation. Point two, makes me feel like I'm in one of my favorite TV shows. People seem like they're trying to live their lives like they're in a movie. As in, they exist, they live their lives, they structure their reality in their minds using Lego scripts. The only ways they're able to exist and communicate with each other is by piecing together fragments of things they have seen elsewhere. So when they want to have a genuine moment with somebody, they deploy genuine moment A from television show B. And I don't know if I'm sure you have dealt with that. I don't know if you've recognized that as that, but nothing is more disheartening and disgusting than someone trying to have a moment with you and recognizing exactly the piece of media they're referencing using their attempt at genuineness. And it might not even be their fault. They don't know how to exist authentically. Hylics, they don't have souls. Things don't come out of them naturally. It's not there. And right now we're explaining what's wrong. I've been forgetting to refute. Point one, explanation, cities are bad. Refutation, I don't give a shit. The more of you they stick in cities, the better. Point two, refutation, you aren't sentient. You are a walking Chinese room, and you disgust me and disturb me on an existential level. I wish you didn't exist. Point three, studio apartment, exposed brick walls, and everything. Of course, you'll own nothing and be happy. Refutation, I'm glad you own nothing. I'll own shit for you. I'll own the shit and rent it to you. That would make me very happy. Point four, open a nice hoppy IPA or three and get crazy. Explanation, alcohol seems to be everything in adult fun interactions these days. You can't have friends if you don't drink. All your friends want to do is drink and drag you into drinking. Refutation, you disgust me, but we'll get more into that shortly. Point five, get crazy watching some cartoons on Adult Swim. Explanation, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, other than that's the fashionable thing to say, which once again is not wrong in and of itself, but it indicates something about the person. Refutation, I don't care what you watch, but again, you disgust me. See, these next points are why I like doing things from memory, because if I were going by memory, I could break this down easier. Bear with me. Point 6, adulting. Explanation, baseline functionality as an adult needs to be infantilized and praised. Refutation, life is hard, but you don't have to humiliate yourself just because that's what other people are doing. You are allowed to have some dignity if you want it. If you don't want it, that's fine. Happy adulting to you. Point 7, Barcade as a whole. We get to drink and play video games. Explanation: everything comes back to alcohol. I think that's no mistake, because of the substances I've tried, alcohol is the most potent one for making everything go away. But it's also the most damaging. I don't know about you. I am an alcoholic, and even if I drink just one beer, I feel bad. It's like you when you're drinking constantly, the depressing effects become your norm, so you don't recognize the hole you're digging in yourself. But when you step away from it for a while, you drink it once, you drink a few sips of one thing, and you feel part of yourself falling away. And that's if you're drinking just a little bit. You drink more than that, you step into the ruining your life territory. That's one of the reasons I try to avoid making friends these days, because all anyone wants to do is drink. They can't have fun without drinking, they can't communicate without drinking, and they get offended at the idea you don't want to drink. And originally it was trying to keep myself from drinking. That's why I had to distance myself from this fucking thing person. Like, holy shit, alcohol. Everything comes back to alcohol because it's so potent. He barely, just barely, doesn't fuck up his entire life. Goes right back to drinking daily. And that's, again, maybe that's not people's fault. My life is... We talked last time about losing part of your pinky or losing both of your arms. I would say in terms of life fucking up, I have 2 of my fingers missing, maybe more, maybe 3 of my fingers missing from alcohol, not literally, metaphorically. And I was able to stop. Some people can't. And I think that's one of the reasons society pushes you toward these things. They want you destroyed inside, and they want you destroyed literally. They want you to destroy yourself. That's why alcohol, this fucking demon substance, is the one that's legal and pushed on you. Now, I love alcohol, and if I got my wish and humanity disappeared, I would drink myself to death. That's how much I love alcohol. But if you're trying to function, I recognize it as the antithesis of functioning. Society doesn't want you to have control of yourself. It doesn't want you to have agency. Society wants you to be a bumbling slave. Now, I don't remember if we are on explanation or refutation, so refutation, you disgust me. Point 8, play awesome video games. Explanation, I'm guessing some people think video games are bad, but there's no way video games could be bad. I'm really glad this green text doesn't include tobacco, because that's pretty sick too. Refutation, your life is like a video game. You're pretty sick, bro. Point 9, dumb kids and the not wife and I are getting vasectomies. Explanation, many people are not getting married and choosing not to have kids. But additionally, not having kids would be one thing. The contempt for children is something else. Refutation, this one might be a little long. Preface with, I don't give a fuck what you do, even though you do disgust me. Choosing not to have children is one thing. Choosing not to get married is one thing. Bringing children into a world like this is cruel. I don't know if I'm going to have kids, but I know 100% I shouldn't. I and the society in which I live will rot an innocent soul. And I might end up having kids, but I know I shouldn't. Because there is no way. Why would you want to inflict reality on souls you are supposed to love? So, not having kids, on the face of things, I would actually hold in high regard if I thought there were good reasoning for it. You save a cat from a tree because you don't want the cat to be scared up in the tree, that's a good thing. You save the cat up in the tree because you're a saving the cat from up in the tree drone, or rather just a getting the cat down from the tree drone with no moral bearing on what you're doing. That's another thing. Still a net positive action, but you won't catch me praising you for it. Not getting married, avoiding all the paperwork, the commitment, the risks, the politics, whatever. I can understand that, but I'll classify it similar to the cat get down drone. But once again, no bearing on anything anyone does. Something about this lack of commitment bothers me. I'm terrified of commitment, but I would never, you will not catch me living and fucking together unmarried for a long period of time. There's something gross about that to me. I'll need to think about it a bit more. And I view vasectomies the same way, but once again, slightly different. People can do whatever they want to do, but the idea of a vasectomy feels really invasive. And to body mod explicitly for hedonism really grosses me out. I view the human body as an almost perfect machine. So screwing around with it for fun is, that's like Geiger shit. And it, as everything does, comes back to you disgust me. Do what you want, but you really disgust me. Point 10, fur babies. Explanation: people get really obsessive and weird about pets, and the term fur babies, there's some weird, creepy, what's the word, displacement shit going on between the babies, lack of babies, and fur baby obsession. Something creepy going on there. Refutation, broken into a few points. Point 1, she's fucking your dogs. Or if not fucking them, then doing really weird, gross, is it haram shit with them? Like eating cheese out of their mouths, or eating off the floor with them, eating dog food off the floor with them, or really disgusting shit. And it's probably not just her doing it. It's probably you doing it. You fucking disgust me, dude. I don't understand why. I don't like. Right, so talk about contentions. Some people don't like having kids but really like having pets. If I were to have one or the other, I would prefer to have children to pets, because the idea of pets bothers me, or at least leisure pets. If you have a herding dog or stock animals pulling a plow, that's one thing, but buying a large dog and then keeping it inside all the time really frustrates me. And on top of that, I don't like things that exist to dirty up areas and touch me without my consent. And that conviction gets stronger each time I see caucasoids do really disgusting things with their canine friends, their babies, which makes it that much worse. That term makes it that much worse, what those fucking caucasoids do. Okay, so we've gone through the entire Soy Jack meme, Batman. We've explained the points briefly, we've refuted the points briefly, and I feel a little bit better about all this. I wanted, if I had done this from memory, right? This is why you have to be careful about this shit. Because if you put something in front of somebody, then, or if you put it in front of someone who's neuroatypical, not neurodivergent, like your boy, I have to read what's in front of me. If I had done this by memory, there were a bunch of life topics I wanted to go through using my memory of this meme as a guide, but we'll save that for another time. In summary, the soulless disgust me, but the soulless white disgusts me all the more. But that about riveted wraps this one up. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I certainly enjoyed making it. Like if you enjoyed, because it helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't, because we do this shit. Sometimes I comment your thoughts, because I love hearing from you. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Really a lot of fun on this channel. So much fun. In fact, you can rent it out with exposed brick walls. That's so much fun on this channel, and I look forward to doing this with you guys again in the future.